This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I have checked, Sunil, I have checked your assignment,
Okay.
and yeah. So your explanation was really good,
Okay.
and yeah, we will discuss more things today, and yes, Prachi and Harry, I mean, I didn't get your assignment, so yeah, it is
Yes.
important because. Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't actually copy, and there are some questions regarding the assignment also I have.
Okay, because gradually every day I'll give some assignments. So if you will not work on that assignment, then that part will be, I mean, added to your bucket every day. So you have to, I mean, just whatever you understood or whatever you can give the answer explanation of that particular answer, you can just write and then share with me.
Okay.
So yeah, so we can move further today. Let me. Okay. So yesterday we were discussing about types of variables. So yeah, so just reiterate yesterday class. Uh, in any class, we have two kinds of members available. One is a static member and another one is non-static members. We can also say like a static variable and non-static variable. A static method, non-static method. So non-static method is also called instance variable or instance method. So then we have discussed about types of variables. Now today we will see what is difference between a static and instance variable, and how we will use that particular thing. So as you know that a static is a property of class and instance is a property of object. Okay, so we will see this concept uh, uh, through demo. Yeah. So yeah, so yesterday we discussed about static is a property of class and non-static or instance is a property of object. Okay, property of object. Yeah. So now let's create one example. I'm going to delete this one. Okay, so we have first demo method. Okay, now what if this is not related to this particular topic, but let me remove a string args. Okay, let me remove a string args from this program. Okay, or simply I can write this program in notepad. Okay, so that we can understood and understand better. Let me copy this and I'm going to save this program to first demo. Okay, .java. Now go to cmd, then cd desktop, and then we can write here java c first demo, java c first demo. Okay, so dir, I think I have copied this to cd java classes. First demo. Okay, I have copied somewhere else, I think. Okay, let me save again. Save as, okay, Selenium testing. It's in Selenium testing. So first demo dot Java. Now I go to desktop. Okay, here I can write Java C and then first demo.java. Now this program will compile. Okay, and once we will, because there is nothing in that particular main method, so simply if we will execute this program, we will get nothing. Okay, simply we will execute this program, we will get nothing. Now question is, this is also one kind of interview question. We should have at least one main method to invoke the program. Okay, but for compilation we don't require any kind of method or any method. Okay, so simply if I'll go and delete this file. Okay, I'm deleting this. Now save this program and I'll go again and compile this program. Okay, so this program will compile, okay, without any issue. Now if I'm going to invoke uh, Java, then we will get exception that there is no main method. Okay, main method not found in class first demo. Okay, so please define the main method as this. Okay, so it says like we should have at least one main method. Okay, now I'm going to paste this here, and now we have main method. I'm explaining this because what if we can, or what if we have more than one main method in same class. Okay, let's say we can create another main method, public static void main, and then without any parameter. Okay, then this program will work or not. Okay, yeah, so we have another method, main method, and can we use that main method? So if I'm okay, let me write some system.out.println hello. Okay, and copy this to this main method as well. Now this one is called hello1 and this one is hello2. Okay, so if I'm going to compile this program, do we get any compilation error? So answer should be no. Okay, because there is no any problem with this program. Now when we compile, when we execute this program, okay, when we execute this program, do we get any exception? And if we will not get any exception, then what will be the output of this program? So can you guess what will be the answer of the, what will be the output of this program right now? Okay, so yeah, am I audible? I mean,
Yes.
okay, then it's fine. So yes, so when right now when we invoke our JRE, then it will print only whatever we have written in this main method. Okay, main method with a string array argument. So this will only invoke hello1. Now question is how we can invoke this method also, right? How we can invoke this method also. So this main method is treated here as normal method. Okay, this main method is treated here as normal method. So we can simply call here main and that's it. So it will first print this line and then it will go here and print this one. Okay, so we will discuss more how we are directly calling this main method. Okay, so the nature is here we have used a static. So a static can be accessed directly without creating the object. Okay, so okay, yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, so sorry for that. So now if I'm going to save this program and just compile this and again run this program, so we will get hello1 and hello2. Okay, so I have given one assignment which was related to this particular question. That's why I'm explaining this. So we can have more than one main method in one class, but that should not be more than one main method with same argument, same parameter. Okay, now now back to our main topic, related to, we will discuss related to what is static and dynamic and instance. Okay, so let me create one variable here, int age equal to 20. Okay, I am writing here int age equal to 20. Okay, now in particular method, okay, in particular method I am writing again int, or simply we can write here a string name equal to some value, okay, abc. Now, and I'm again writing one more thing, static int uh, static int abc equal to some value. Okay, now here what we can see, this one is called a static variable and this one is instance variable. Okay, a static and instance. This one is a static variable and this one is instance variable. And what we call this one is local variable. Okay, so we have to initialize local variable. Always we have to initialize any local variable. If I'm simply writing here and just going to print this, okay, so yeah, so if I'm going to write this, yeah, so we will get one message, one error, compile time error, that local variable name may not have been initialized. Okay, so local variable name may not have been initialized. That means always local variable should be initialized. Okay, so we have to give something here. But in case of global variable, so this one is called global variable. If any variable written outside of the any method, outside of any method, okay, then that will be called global variable. Okay, global variable. So this one is called global variable. Okay, so global variable can be globe. Okay, global variable can be of two types. One is static and another one is instance. Okay, so now if I'm going to remove this, okay, so first we have to initialize something. So simply I click here, I have initialized with null. Now I'm going to remove this one, okay, this field, just simply declaring the variable without initializing it. Okay, now I'm saving this program. So we didn't get any exception. Okay, because by default global variable is initialized with some value. Okay, so if we have taken data type as integer, then by default age is initialized with 0. If we have integer, then age is then integer value will be initialized by 0. So we will discuss this when we discuss about data type. Now here we have three concepts: a static variable, a global static variable, we can say, instance variable, and then local variable. Okay, now we will discuss more about static and instance. So before going to that, going to particular topic, let me brief you about comments. Okay, so in Java basically we have three types of comments. First one is single line comment. Let's say if we have written here sys out abc, okay, and just let me copy this. Okay, so if we have multiple lines of comments, so one is single line comment. Okay, so for that we use normally double slash. Okay, double forward slash. Okay. Now, what is multi comment slash means multi-line comment. So for that we use a streak. Okay, slash a streak, and then whatever line you want to comment, just write a streak and then slash. Okay, so you can use it for multi-line also, right? This one. And another one is called, we have a comment that is called document. Okay, document type. So for document type, what we have to do, write slash and then 2 asterisk. Okay, slash and 2 asterisk and then press enter. Okay, it will automatically create this kind of statement. Now here you can write anything related to particular thing. Now this one is called document comment. Okay, and we use this comment comment on above of any method or above of any class. Okay, so let me write this. If we have main method, then we can write here. So it will automatically take all parameters, whatever we are passing to that particular method, it will add here. Now you have to write here something about this method. Okay, something about this method. So let me write, this is main method. Okay, which will be used to print or used to invoke by JVM. Okay, kind of thing we can write here, so that this is one kind of informational comment and used informational comment for particular method. If we can use here in top of any class, then it will automatically add who is the author of this particular class. Okay, who has created this particular class. So automatically it will pick from your system name and it will add here. Now you can write here the description about this particular class. So if you open any existing class which is provided by Java, then you can see here multiple document comments mentioned here. Okay, so it is explaining what this particular class will do, and for every method, like we have this method, then we have comment. If we are using this variable, we have comments. So this is for informational purpose only. Okay, so we have 3 types of comments. One is single line, second was multi-line, and then another one is document. Okay, now we have shortcuts as well for this. Okay, so let me, so if you want to make comment, let's say for these selected lines, so simply write press Control Shift and then forward slash. Okay, Control Shift and forward slash, Control plus Shift and then forward slash. Okay, so this will make comment, multi-line comment. And if you will, if you want to uncomment, to make comment, okay, we use this. And to uncomment, okay, uncomment, what we will use, Control plus Shift plus backward slash. Okay, backward slash. So it will uncomment that selected lines. Okay, backward slash. This is the thing. Yeah, now we can move to our topic. So let's say we have method int age equal to 20. Okay, or 20. Now I am making this static. Okay, static. And if I am going to use this method, this variable, okay, then what we have to do, simply we can use age, and it will print the value. Okay, it will print the value. Now
And then this, I think for comment is forward slash.
comment is for comment forward slash. Yes, definitely. And for
Control Shift and forward slash.
yes, like if you want to make this line comment, Control Shift and then forward slash. Okay,
Yes.
and for uncomment we use control shift backward slash. Okay,
Yes.
so this one is called forward slash, right?
Yes.
And this one is backward slash. Yes, definitely. So yeah, so if you want to print a static field, okay, in main method, then simply you can write particular variable name and it will print. Or best practice is to use class name. Okay, so use class name dot age, okay, to print a static data member. Okay, now let me create instance variable. Okay, let me write a string name equal to abc. So this is instance variable. Now if I'm going to print this sysout and name, okay, then we will get error. Okay, so we cannot directly access instance variable in a static method. Okay, so in a static method we cannot directly use instance variable. Okay, this is a point you can write. So how we can use instance variable? So for instance variable, or we can say object variable, we need to create the object of that particular class. Okay, object of that particular class. So let's say if we are creating a project for college and somebody is not a student of that particular college, okay, then they cannot use any property. Okay, they cannot use any property of that college. So first they have to register, they have to be the student of that particular college, and then using that student id, or we can say that object, they can access any instance field. So instance is basically property of object, so we need object to access this thing. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to create object. And how we can create object? We will use class name first demo, and then we can write here any name, obj, or any name, abc, whatever you feel. Okay, so I'm writing here obj equal to, now we have to use new keyword. Okay, new keyword which initialize the memory for this particular class. So we will discuss what all types of memory we have. So right now I am creating object of this particular class. Okay, object of first demo class. Similarly, we can create as many as objects, okay, and number of objects of particular class, because in one let's say if we have college, then in one college we can have number of students. Similarly here, if we have a class, then we can create multiple objects. So we have right now I'm creating one object obj. Now using this object we can access name. Okay, so what I'm right here to print obj dot name. Okay, now it will print the value of abc, sorry, print the value of name. But in case of a static, either we can directly access this, because this is a static property of class, and this method is also a static, so this is also a property of class, right? So we can directly access a static field. Okay, and a static is a class property, so a static field can be directly accessed throughout the class. Okay, now next thing is, okay, so it is printing. Now next thing is, let's say we have another method. Okay, we have a method called public, or let me remove public, we'll discuss about this later. Show, we have method show. Okay, and in that method I'm printing the value of above two variables. So I can write age and sys out, I can write name. Okay, without any problem. Okay, because I have not written here a static. That means this method is instance method. Okay, this method is instance method or non-static method. So in instance method we can directly access a static as well as non-static field. Okay, but now how we can access this show method? We cannot simply write here, show. Okay, so we need something to call this method. and as we know this is instance field, so we need object, and using that object only we can access this. So let me create first demo obj equal to new first demo, and now obj dot show. Okay, so I have called show method, and now show method, when show method will invoke, it will print first age and then name. Okay, this is also another way to print the value of print the variable. Okay, so you can now understand how static and non-static works. Okay, now I'm going to show what is the main difference, and what will be the difference if we have more than one object, and one object change the value of a static field, then it should reflect to all variables, all other object. Similar as I explained yesterday, like if you have if you went to college, and there are n number of students, and one student simply increase the temperature of that AC in that particular class, then all other student will be impacted by of that. Okay, so this kind of thing how we will see in our program. So what I'm going to explain, so let me we have a field, a static int abc. Okay, a static int abc, or let's say a static int x equal to 50. Okay, a static int x equal to 50 and normal int y equal to 50. Okay, so we have two variable, one is a static variable and another one is non-static variable, and this method is called add. Okay, and here what I am doing, x equal to x plus 10. Okay, and now y equal to y plus 10. Okay, now simply I am adding 10 in current in this value. Okay, I am adding 10 in this value. Now we will see what will be the impact if we create the object of that. Okay, so I have created here one object obj 1, and now going to call this method. Okay, going to call obj obj 1 dot show, sorry, add. Okay, obj 1 dot add. So it will print the value of this, and before that I'm printing the value, or simply I can print, yeah, that's fine. So x equal to plus x, and then y equal to plus y. Okay, now here you can see this is a static field. Okay, so a static field directly access without any problem, but for instance field we need one object, we need object. Okay, so using that object only we can call this variable. Okay, so obj dot y, now you can see here. Okay, so let me okay, I can change this value so that it will be visible mode. Okay, so let me write here. Okay, let it be. Okay, now we have a static int x equal to 50, int y equal to 50. That means this is instance variable. We have method add which will add 10 in both variable. Okay, I am calling I am just printing first two values without calling method, right? Now I have called method obj.add. It will add the value, it will call this method and add 10 plus 10. Now I am simply copy this program and paste it here. What will be the output of this program? So first time output will be x equal to 50 and y equal to 50, because we have x equal to 50, y equal to 50. Now we have called method obj.add. This method will be called, and it increased 10 and 10 in both variables. So now output will be x equal to 60 and y equal to 60. There is no difference. Okay. Now let me create another object. Okay. Let me create. Okay. If I'll again call this method, then also we don't get any improvement. Just it will add the value. You can see here 60, 60, 70 and 70. There is no it looks like a static and non-static variable are same. It looks like, right? Now I'm going to create, let me delete this thing. Now I'm going to create another demo object of this class. Okay, now let's see what will happen. Okay, so simply we can say this is first student. Okay, or I can write in this manner, like before creating object, what is the value? No, this will not work because we need object. Okay, so yeah, this is fine. Now this one is before calling add method, what will be the output? After we called add of this object 1 using object 1, what will be the output? Now we have created object 2. Okay, we have created object 2 of this class, and now we will call this method. Okay, again this method again, then we will see what is the difference between that. Okay, so simply we can call these 3 lines here, and we'll replace with object 2. Okay, so here we can call with object 2, and here object 2. So the idea is, first time there is only one object, then there is no impact, the output will be same always. So what output we get from here? X equal to 50, okay, and y equal to 50 in this line. Now when we reach to this line, then we have already increased the value, then x equal to 60 and y equal to also 60, right? There is no improvement, both are same. Now we have created second object, and when we print this line, okay, when we print this line, what will be the output of this line and what will be the output of this line? So there will be changed. Okay, so if I ask to you what will be the output of this line, right, what will be the output of this line, what is your opinion here? So x equal to, and what will be the value of y? Similarly here x equal to and y equal to. Okay, so here you can see the difference between a static and non-static variable. Okay, so simply I'll run this program. Okay, so so the idea is it will print x value, and x is a static variable, so it will print as is. Okay, so what is the last value of a static field? So last value is 60. Okay, so here it will print 60 because it increased value. Okay, last value is 60. Now because we have not called yet add method, so what will be the value? Last value, and now we have called object 2.y. so here what we will get? Yeah, can you anyone can tell me what will be the value of y here? Yeah, Dhare, Sunil, Prachi. Yeah, please, can you please repeat again?
It will increase by 10 again.
So it will increase by 10 again. That means I mean here we get 60 as per you, because we have not called yet. No, if you see here, after this line, we have not called the add method. We have not called any add method, so it will not increase. Okay, it will not increase any value. It can be the last value. It can be the last value. Yeah. Yeah, but here you will not get the output as is. Okay, so let me run this program, then you will. So you can see here, first time we have 50 and 50, okay, then 60 and 60 with this student. Now when we have created object 2 and printed the same line, then we get the x value equal to 60, but y value is 50. Okay, so y value is 50, y value is again initialized with the default value, and default value here is 50. So the concept is, and for this we have added one value, so it will be 70, yeah, and then here it will be 50, and then 60, and here 70, yeah, sorry, this will be
This
50
is 50
and
and this is 60.
yes, 60. So the output is this. Okay, so you can see here, whenever we call add method, okay, value changed, okay, value changed, we called add method here and we called add method here, so value is changed. Now if again I'll call the value, again I'll print this line, again similar value. So what we will get, simply we will call add method. Now it will increase the value of x to 80, and this will be 70, right? 80 and 70. So yeah, 80 and 70. Now I'm going to I'm going to create another object. Okay, first demo obj3 equal to new first demo, and now again I'm calling this method, okay, obj, and just copy paste it here and replace with 3. I'm calling with object 3, so object 3, yeah. Now what will be the output of this line? What will be the output here? So if you will give the correct answer, then this these two things you will I think this will you will understood these two things. So what will be the output here? X equal to and y equal to. So yeah, so Sunil Dhare, you can also participate in this discussion. I think you are not there. Okay, so the idea is, here we have added 10 to a static field. That means it will keep last value, and it will always keep maintain the last value, and it will add 10 to that last value. So we have 80, and now it will add 10 more, so it will be 90 here, yeah, there, okay, 90. And what will be the value of y there? Yeah, this is the main thing. What will be the value of y? So you can ping me, yeah, or whatever you can feel. So yeah, Sunil, do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm just calculating.
Okay, because these are the things, basically it will help you to understand the basic logic behind I mean core Java, and we have a lot of things similar to this thing. So when we gradually go to our next topic, we have a lot of things related to this. We will discuss each and every core concept of Java. So best approach to learn is to discuss about that during that class only. Okay, so you can participate, what will be the answer, what will be the output of that. Okay, so being normal static, I mean silent, it will not help you, because maybe if you will participate in discussion, you will get more things, you will have more things to discuss, right? So here what will be the output? If you see I'll go to from scratch. So here I have just printed the value. Okay, so it will be print only these two values. Now when first we called add method, then it added 10 to both variable, right? Now output will be 50, 60 and 60. We have created another object2, and now simply we have printed the value, or we can say simply we have printed the value. Now what will be the output? So output will be whatever we have last value in that particular bucket, a static bucket. So it will print that value. It will keep last value. A static is, that means that retain value which is updated last time. So as I said earlier, that if you joined any class, let's say in Java class, and there are n number of students in that class, and some student means some object, okay, some object increase the value, increase the AC temperature, okay, AC temperature. That means that AC temperature will impact all other students. So here one object change the value of a static, by 10. That means if another object is there, obj2, then this will also get increased value 60. We have created another object obj3, so it will get last value whatever 80, so it will get 80. And here we have added one more thing, that it will increase that, so 90. Now question is, what will happen to instance variable? So whenever new object will create, instance variable will also initialize again. Okay, so here you can see first time it is 50. When we created object 2, it is also again 50. When we created object 3, now it will be again 50. Okay, this is the concept of
We already
no?
called the method, right? So why it will be increased by 10?
Yes, you are right. So this will be 60 because we have called here method. Okay, so let me run this program. Yeah, so you can see this is x is always increasing, and y is whenever new object created, it initialized with default value. Yeah, so this is the concept behind variables, static, instance. There are a lot of things we have to discuss in a static thing. Okay, so let me go to next topic. What is there? Okay, so we can discuss this, and again we will come back here for a static and instance. Okay, so right now we have discussed only, or we can discuss right now only. So let me go to next topic, next example of a static and instance. Okay, because this is very important topic. If you will go into to give the interview, then you will get these kind of issues to solve, or they will ask this kind of questions. Now I'll create another class, and we'll see another demo of a static and instance. So let me rename this file to a static demo. Where is, okay, a static demo. Okay. 1. So this will automatically change the class name as well as all object name, okay, whatever we have created here. So now next thing is that we will create another class called a static demo 2, and here we can keep one main method. Now we are going to see something different thing. Okay, so we just saw, like, if we have any method, okay, void show, right, and we want to call this method, what we have to do? Show And if we have a static method, okay, a static void display, let's say, and we have to call this method, sys out display. Now if you want to call these two methods in main method, okay, because we know that main method is the entry point of Java, okay, so we have to bring these two methods inside main method, okay. What we will have to do to call a static method, we don't need anything, just write display, it will automatically call that, okay. But similar way we cannot call non-static method. So if I'm going to call here show, it will not work, okay. We need object to call this method, because this is object, this is instance method, okay, non-static method. So for non-static method we need object. And how we create object? We create object using new keyword, okay. This is the basic thing we need to know. Obj equal to new static demo 2, right? And now using that obj dot show, we can call this method, okay, and it will print the value of both method, display and show, okay. Now we can also call, we have another way to call, we will not write two lines, we can simply write new. If you don't need object, a reference object, just we can create the object. So we can write a static demo 2 dot show, okay. This way also we can do that, right? Display and show. Now my point is here, I'm just explaining how we can call a static and non-static method. We know that. Now there is one thing that we should know. As of now we know that if you want to run your program, we need main method, okay, and main method is the entry point of class. So let me remove these all things and write here sys out, okay, sys out 1, okay, sys out 1, it will print the value of 1, okay, whatever written in main method. Now I'm going to create one static block, okay. Right now I'm going to discuss about a static block and instance block, okay. We have just seen a static method, instance method, a static variable, instance variable. Now we are going to see a static block, a static block, okay. So a static block we create using this, we simply write a static and then two curly braces, okay, and here whatever we will write, it will simply print that, okay. We can write here 2, okay, anything we can write here. Now what will be the output when we run this program? We don't need anything to call this one, it will automatically call, okay. So I'm going to simply run this program, and what output we got? First we got 2 and then 1, doesn't matter where you will write this program, okay, it will always print same value, okay, 2 and 1. That means before main method it calls a static method, a static block, okay. Always remember that if you want to invoke anything, if you want to do something before main method, then we have a static block, okay. And how we use a static block? Simply write a static and then curly braces, it will print that value, okay. Now let me write, and we can have one or more static block in one program. We can write as many as a static block, okay, 2, 4, 3, okay. Now it will print the value of a static block in sequential manner, okay. It will first print the value, first it will process this static block, then it will pick this static block, and then it will pick this static block, okay. And after finishing all these things, it will move back to main method and then print this one, okay. So whenever program will traverse, it will traverse like try to find all static things, okay. it will print if I'm going to write here some static. Okay, now what we will get output, we will get first 2, then 4, then 3, and then it will come back to 1. Okay, 2 4 3 1, right? Now we don't need anything to call a static block. Okay, we know that, because we know that a static main method is automatically invoked by JVM. Okay, because this is a static, we don't need any object. Now we have another thing which is called instance variable. Okay, instance block. I'm simply removing other thing. Instance block, and how instance block looks like, simply you have to write braces, that's it. This is called instance block. Okay, and if I'm going to write something here, let's say I am going to write 3. Okay, or in this block also we can write as many as of lines you need, 4. Okay, so this one is called instance or init block. Simply we can say init block or instance block. Okay, remember this program always, it will be asked in any interview. Okay, a static block. Now how we can and if I'm going to execute this program, what we will get from this program, what will be the output of this program? Yeah, can you please tell me what will be the output of this program right now?
2 3 4 1.
Okay, but you have to but if you remember our last topic, if we are going to call any instance variable or any instance method, what we need an object. Okay, always remember that we need an object to call instance variable or instance method. Similarly, for instance block as well, we need to create object. Okay, then only it will invoke. So if I am writing here, like simply you can create new static block, static demo 2, that's fine. We have created here object. Okay, now when it will first print a static block, then it will a static block 2, if static block 2, then what is your comment? Yeah, then it will print 3 and 4 if a static demo 2. Yeah, means we have to create the object first. Okay, so we have created here object. Now output will be, first it will load a static block, then all a static block it will print, and after that it will move to main method, and then it will move to this line, and before doing this line it will print all init block. So the output will be 2 and then 1 and then 3 and 4. Okay,
So block, what's the block? There is a, what is the block?
yes. Block means, yeah, block means here just this is initialization block. Okay, if you want, okay, let me just confuse you more. If I have created here, okay, let me create full-fledged object, a static demo 2 obj equal to this. We have created one object. Now output will be same as earlier. Now again I'm going to create another object, object 2. We are not using anything, just we are creating object of this class. Now can you please guess the output? Because what is initialization block? Initialization block always be called before a static method, and whenever we create new object it will be called a static block, sorry, init block. So here if you see, what will be the output? Output will be a static block, that means output will be 2, then 1, and then 3 4, and then 3 4. 2 times it will print 3 4 3 4. 2 and then 1, then 3 4 3 4. Okay, so I can write some syntax here, static 1, okay, and here init 1, okay. I can simply remove this line, okay. So init 1, now you can see here, and this one is main. So if I'll going to run this program, what we get, a static, that means a static block, it will print, then main method, and then we have first object created, that means it printed init 1, then we have again created another object, then it will print init 1. That means whenever any new object will be created, init block will execute first, okay. So a static block will only execute one time, okay, only execute at one time only, okay. So let me copy this and again paste it here, okay, and I'm writing here a static 2, okay, a static 2. Now what will be the output of this program?
First, static 1, static 2, and main, then init, and then again.
Yes, definitely, because all static method will be printed first, and then it will move to main method, and if we have any object, then it will create the object and initialize this one. Then again it will create object and initialize this one, okay, execute this block. So this is how a static and init block works, okay. So let me create another object, okay. If we are creating another object called 3, then output will be, this part will be same, but it will add one more thing here, okay. A static 1, a static 2 main, and init, okay. So in initialization block always works with object, and a static block always works with class. So class will be loaded only one time, so it will print only one time. Now we can have more than one init block as well, okay. So we can copy this and paste it here. So in this case, and it will execute in sequential manner only for initialization block, okay. So now in this case, what will be the output? So first time, so it will print like a static 1 and then a static 2, then main method. Now we have created first object, so it will print init 1, init 2. Then we have created again second object. Yes, init 1, init 2. It will not again print this one. It will only print initialization block, okay. Then object 3, then again it will print this one. So this is how it works, right? A static init and main, then init 1, init 2, init 1, init 2, okay. This is the thing we need to discuss before going to discuss other thing, right? Now similarly thing we have written here, and we will discuss more on this when we will reach to our next topic, which is constructor, okay. So when we reach to constructor, then we will see the topic constructor chaining, okay. And in that constructor chaining, we will discuss more on this thing, okay, because that part is related to this one. So next topic we will discuss tomorrow, that is memory management, okay. So when our JVM class loader loads all class through memory, okay, how memory divides, JVM divides and stores the variable, okay. So like here, class is initialized. When class is loaded, all the things automatically initialize and printed, start printing of that value. That means we need to know this part also. So we will discuss this tomorrow, okay. And then we will move to data types and then operators, okay. Yeah, so any question, Dhairya, Prachi, Sunil, from today's class?
Sir, can you share the link immediately for the video? that you are recording, so that
Oh,
we can
actually,
review it.
yeah,
And
got
then
your
we can.
point. Got your point. Problem is whenever I'll close this class. Okay. So if class is for 1 hour, then it will take approx 1 hour to convert this video to MP4. Okay.
Sir, I know because I've done it before. Or if you can make one of us the organizer, then I can record it and then share it on Google Drive. Because I
Yeah, yeah.
take that
No, no.
time.
That's not problem. Problem is converting that video to MP4. It will take approx 1 hour to convert that thing, and it is automatically converting that thing. That's why it is taking. But no problem. I'll upload it today. Okay.
So because before the class, I would like to go through yesterday's class.
Yeah, I got your point because here because there is morning right now. So yes, definitely you need this video. Okay, no problem. I'll upload this today.
So can you upload yesterday's and today's video as well?
Yes,
Because I
definitely.
can get the link for yesterday's and
Okay.
today's.
Okay, I have already uploaded that video in that. I'll add all of you. Okay, there and upload this video. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Dhari. Thank you, Prachi. Thank you, Sunil.
Yes, and then what is platform?
What is
Last question was what is platform?
platform? Okay, so platform is like a combination of operating system plus the assembler, or we can say language, whatever we use. So combination of both things we call platform. So whenever we say like we use Windows platform, we run our application on Windows platform or Linux platform, that means we are saying that operating system, okay, plus our compiler version, that means JVM. So that is both things makes the platform. Okay, platform means combination of both things, software plus hardware, simply say that. And Java is platform independent because we have a virtual machine and we don't need any other thing to interact with hardware. It's the responsibility of JVM, Java Virtual Machine.
JDK and JRE all are platform dependent, right?
Actually, if you go through that, so basically when we install JDK, that means we have already installed JRE. We have already installed JVM.
Yeah.
So JVM is the
JDK.
part. Yes, definitely. JDK,
Yes.
JVM is part of JRE and JRE is part of
JRE is
JDK.
part of JVM.
Yeah. So in production environment, sometimes we don't need JDK, we simply install JRE.
JRE.
Yeah. Because
Just
it
the
will not
client
take.
end we use only JRE and development end we use.
Yes, definitely. Because JDK need we need JDK to convert that .java file to class file only for compilation purpose. After that, everything is doing by JRE only. So JRE provides runtime environment. What other things, class loader, everything provided by JRE only. So we will discuss this when we come to memory management part. Yeah.
So you're gonna upload it on Google Drive?
Yeah, I have created location in OneDrive. I mean Microsoft OneDrive, and I have already uploaded yesterday video, and I'll upload today video. Plus, I will add all of you in that particular directory, so that you can directly go and download video or watch video.
Okay.
So I have your email ID. I will add you in that. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.